Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are taking the Pimax 5K Super for a drive and talk. We are in Automobilista, guys, so let's get started. And I'll give you some early impressions of what I think about this headset. So I've had it for about a week. I've only been using it properly for a couple of days though, guys. So yeah, it's early days, early doors, so this is not a full review. A full review will come in due course, so yeah, so do look out for that. I'll drop a link in the description when that full review is live. So yep, check there, maybe now, maybe later, depends on when you obviously view this video. So, Pimax 5K, or the Pimax headsets, what they offer is an increased field of view over any other headset. You know, this is the widest field of view headset you can get on the market right now, and it has been for quite some time. You know, Pimax has been around for a while. This is their 5K one, they have an 8K one, and they're also working on a 12K version, which is coming out later this year. But what they all offer is this same wide field of view, but it's just different panels, guys. And of course, this is their cheapest one. But the reason I have this is because it was actually quite cheap. Watch my unboxing and you'll be jealous about how cheap I got this, as it was super lucky pickup. Anyway, guys, back to the action. So what you get is this wide field of view. They quote it as up to 200 degrees, which, to be fair, guys, it is wide, but it's not 200 degrees. That is misinformation, and if you dig deeper you'll find out the true figures. So they measure it at a diagonal measurement like on a monitor, but in VR you measure field of view horizontally, which is different. And when you actually look past those numbers, the actual real numbers, and there's details out there, guys, you can find it, it is maximum 170 degrees field of view horizontal. And it has different settings, and this is something which is actually very good. So although that may seem like you're being cheated, and I have to say they are lying about that, it's not 200 degrees, but it is very wide, and it is significantly wider than my other headsets. So it can do 170, which is the widest, but you're going to be running it at 150. That's the normal setting, because when you run it at 170, it really is an irrelevant amount of extra field of view, because it's sort of outside of the lenses itself. You get to an edge of the lenses. If you look at the edge of the lenses here, when you're in the headset, you can see you can see it sort of slightly warps. It's not too bad, but you can see a difference of where that lens kind of curves. And it's only when you kind of look ahead, just keep your head straight on and try and move your eyes in that direction to the far reaches of the left and right, you can see that it's not like crispy clear right at the edge. It's not bad, but it's not quite perfect. And beyond that, it's just an irrelevant amount of extra kind of rendered pixels, effectively, if you run it at the high field of view. So 150 is what you want to run it at, and you have these selectable options, which is actually very good because it is future proofing. So you know, you can run it at so the 170, the 150. You also have 120 and 100, and effectively what that does, it reduces the viewports by just basically, you know, rendering less horizontal pixels, and therefore if you run it at 100, it's going to be like running it at a more regular VR headset. So your viewports is smaller. It's going to be easier for your computer to run the game, since it's rendering less pixels. If you have a more powerful PC, you can then run it at the higher field of view, effectively a higher resolution or higher sort of like horizontal resolution, and you know, get these pixels rendered, and you'll see more. So that's really good, because it does mean if you buy this and you don't have a particularly powerful PC, you can still use it. You can still use it, and you're not going to have a problem with it, because you just run it at 100, and it'll just be more like, say, using an Index or Quest 2 or something like that. If you and a particular game you may find you can run it at higher FOV, because the game isn't hard on the system. Because all VR games, just like any game on a monitor, is going to run differently. You know, a complex game like Simracing games, there's a lot going on. You do need a powerful PC, you need a powerful graphics card, you need a powerful CPU. But if you're playing, say, you know, Beat Saber or something like that, where there's bugger all going on, it's a simple game, you can run it at really high FOV, and you're going to be absolutely fine. So yes, you do have this flexibility. The other thing it does have, which is, you know, actually unique, besides this really high horizontal FOV, is it does have a refresh rate up to 180. Again, this is selectable, so you change that in the Pimax software. It can run as low as 90, which I'm running now, or you can go up to 180. Although 180 you can't run it at the extreme kind of FOV, since simply put, there's not enough bandwidth going over that DisplayPort cable that you can't do that. So yeah, so but you can do also 80, 120, 144, and 180. I think there might be one in between. I'm not sure, but anyway, you have this variable kind of refresh rate you can lock it to, which again is really good. If you have a powerful PC, you just run it high if you want to. I expect if you're playing sim racing games, guys, you're gonna have to run it at 90. You can, unless you run it at a narrower field of view, since there's a balance. I'm using an RTX 3090, and it's absolutely fine at 90 Hertz. I'm also recording using this webcam at 1080p. 60 FPS, so I can definitely tell it's using a bit of the resources for my PC, and it's not running absolutely as smooth as it has done when I'm just playing the game without recording. So yeah, that does make a little bit of a difference, I can definitely tell. But yeah, I have to say I'm pretty happy with the performance. I love the field of view. You definitely notice the benefit of it. It's much more natural, much more lifelike by having that wider field of view, and it is significant. I'm seeing more of the track. I'm getting a better sense of speed because that's whizzing past and it's in my peripheral, where before it wouldn't have been. So it'd be a narrow sort of thing. I'm seeing more of the track. I can see cars coming up the side. I can see the wing mirrors in my peripheral. I can see a car coming up the side there. On other headsets, there's certain things I wouldn't be able to kind of get a glimpse of because it just wouldn't be there, since the narrow field of view would have obscured those things around me. And this is very much like, it is definitely more lifelike having this field of view, and I definitely understand why people like this headset, and I understand why it exists, because yeah, that wider field of view is something quite special. I went back to my Quest 2 immediately after using this, and it feels like it's like you're looking for a tube. It's really weird. Yeah, so I'm used to using the Quest 2 as well. I love that headset. But yeah, definitely when you get spoilt by a wider field of view and going back to this, it does feel really weird and narrow, and you have to kind of adjust yourself again because you get used to it. You get used to that benefit. The quality of the image, again, it's pretty sharp. There is a little bit of screen door. I'd say it's similar. It's similar to the Index in that respect, where it's kind of faint, and you only really take note of it when you stare at pixels and you're really trying to look at it. When you're just driving normally and getting on with the job, it's not something you're aware of. So yeah, it's the screen door, I'd say, is really not a problem. I think it's good. I'm quite happy with the sharpness of the image. Smoothness is good. Colours look good, very much like actually the Quest 2. In fact, not as vibrant as the Index. The Index is really vibrant screens on there. This is duller than the Index, but there's nothing wrong with this. It looks absolutely fine. Like I said, it looks like to me like if I was using the Quest 2 in sim racing in Ultimate Ballista 2, it'd look very much like this. So screen brightness is good enough. Colours look nice. The actual Pimax software is really well fleshed out. So you can do all the changes I've already mentioned. You can change the FOV, the frame rate. Also has foveated rendering option to where the idea is it kind of renders the sweet spot at the best resolution, and then everything else isn't rendered as sharply. I haven't fully tested that. I'm not sure if it works with every game. I need to look at that because I wasn't too sure if it was actually doing anything, and I certainly didn't notice when I tried the different settings that it was affecting the frame rate or helping me in any way in that sense. But for the review, I'll do a bit more testing on that because it might be something that may enable you to run the higher field of view with a slightly less powerful PC. So again, another thing which allows you to set the settings to cope with your system. So that's really good. Yeah, you might imagine like this is going to be absolutely terrible for your PC because of the high resolution it's rendering at, but it does have a lot of things to try and help you get this headset to work on your system, and that's really good. Actually, another thing I need to tell you, which I did forget, so you might already be aware that this uses Steam VR tracking, so it uses like the same lighthouse tracking that the Index and the HTC Vive use. but it also has an accelerometer, and I'm using an accelerometer, so I'm using that now. I'm not using Lighthouse tracking. This is just built-in tracking, which is 3 degrees of movement, so up, down, left, right, tilt. The only limitation is if I move forward, the whole screen moves, the whole world moves, so you don't have that, but everything else works just fine. And I have to say, you can do this. This works absolutely good. You know, you can't tell you don't have full tracking when you're just driving. It looks normal to me. It's only when you kind of try and look into something, which you're not really going to be doing when you're sim racing. You just turn your head up and down, left and right, tilt your head, and it just seems normal. So yeah, you can just use this tracking, onboard tracking for sim racing, and you'll be, I'd say, absolutely fine. You know, some people might not agree with me, but I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And there's actually another reason why I am using this tracking as well. I did use it, the Lighthouse tracking, it does work. However, my CSL-DD is massively interfering with the Lighthouse tracking, the sensors on the headset. Exactly the same problem on my Index. The CSL-DD, in fact, I think the other Fanatec DD wheels have terrible EMI issues with SteamVR tracking. You may be okay, but there's a lot of people out there that do struggle with it, and I have not found a solution for it. And it's particularly bad with this headset. And what happens is you touch the headset, the screen just grays out, and it happens on the Index and it happens on this one. Turn off the CSL-DD, no problem. So yeah, problem with Lighthouse tracking with this, EMI issues. I have to make a video on this, guys, because this is a serious problem with these CSL-DDs, and also I think all Fanatec direct drive wheelbases. Let's restart that, and but yeah, so and it's, yeah, it's definitely Lighthouse tracking, guys, because this is no problem. There's no problem with it. And I have to say, it is a problem with the Fanatec DDs, because I do have a Leo Bodner DD, which is sat behind the monitor right now, and I turned it on. I tried all this stuff with Lighthouse tracking, no problem. Tried it the Index, no problem. So the electromagnetic interference is definitely to do with this wheelbase. Fortunately, I do have this other DD, which is the Leo Bodner is my main one, not this one. So going down in the future, I have a kind of out. I'm not kind of stuck using this, because that would be a problem. That would be definitely a big problem. So yeah, that's for another video, guys. I'm going to make a video sort of pre-warning people about this and this in the future. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that. But overall, I'm satisfied with this, guys. It's a nice headset. Generally, the comfort is okay. It's a bulky headset, but this actually weighs a little bit light. It's a little bit lighter than the Index by, I think, about 100 grams, something like that. And it's hard to tell when you kind of lift them up and you just have them in your hands. But I will say, though, this does feel bulky. It feels very bulky because it's super wide, and therefore the interface is really wide, and the head strap is kind of bulky at the back as well, because it needs to hold this thing up. And it's not so much the weight, because the weight's not like, you know, anything heavier than the Index, but it's just this bulky kind of mass, and you definitely can tell. You know, I don't think you know, definitely adult heads for this headset, guys. You know, little kid heads are going to have a problem with this, I reckon. You know, but see, and other headsets, you know, kids won't have a problem with, but this headset, I think, is far too big for any child's head. So that's something to kind of bear in mind. So, I guess a limitation of it, but you need it to get this field of view. You know, it has to have this wide screen. This is how it is. So there's nothing you can do about it. But you know, generally it feels, you know, comfortable to wear. I'm not massively keen on the foam. I've never been keen on foam on any VR headset, and I generally will replace that very quickly. And I need to find a replacement for this, because it's like the, you know, it's like the Quest the Quest foam. You know, it's very much like the foam on the HTC Vive. You know, it gets a little bit irritating when it's against your skin for a bit. I get itchy. I kind of, you know, want to scratch underneath the between the foam and my face every so often. And yeah, it's a slight distraction every so often. But yeah, I have to kind of live with it for the moment. But I am looking to replace that foam at some point. Looking for a clever type of facial interface. It is just velcroed on, luckily, so it is a simple swap out. But we'll see how we get on with that, guys. Yeah, because I really don't like the foam on here. It's okay to start off with, but after, you know, 20-30 minutes, I kind of feel it. It just gets itchy. I hate it. So yeah, that's kind of my only kind of grievance with this headset so far is I don't like the foam. You know, it's not uncomfortable against my face as much. It fits and it molds against my face. It's just that kind of the surface of that foam I dislike. But yeah, really enjoying this headset. It does make a VR sim racing and I guess other VR games much more, I guess, you know, realistic in a way because it's much more natural. I can see more. You know, I can see my mirrors. I can see partially down the side of my car here from the side. I can see through the side windows, which I can't see through other headsets. And I'm definitely moving my head less since I'm just seeing more stuff. I can just dart my eyes around and see what's going on, keep my head straight on. Other VR headsets, I'm having to kind of track my head around a little bit more to see what's going on. But yeah, I'm able to kind of drive, you know, pretty much head down the track, occasional quick glances and moving my head. But yeah, it's very natural. It is a very natural way of driving. And I definitely appreciate this extra field of view. It is enjoyable. And I have to say, certainly the most enjoyable VR racing experience I've had because of that extra field of view. So I'm enjoying it so far, guys. But yeah, look out for the review. I'll come up with more bits and pieces, more kind of technical data and all that sort of stuff, things I can't remember right now. But yeah, overall, I'm kind of definitely satisfied with it. I didn't pay a lot for this, so I have to say I'm kind of happy with the price. Would I be happy paying full price for this? Yeah, that's the one I'm not sure about, guys, because my, I think full price is on Amazon. It's like over £600. I paid £155 for this. I kind of got it for next to nothing, really, for this. I feel like I got a really good deal. Would I be as happy if I paid full price for it? Well, I'd certainly appreciate the benefits of it, but I might kind of feel it is, maybe it should be about £100 cheaper than it is, than what it comes out for, because it is an expensive headset. But it is a nice headset. Its build quality seems alright. Software is well fleshed out. There's a lot of options there which I kind of like, and that's done well. And ultimately, it's been performing just fine. No crashes in the software. Everything's working as any other headset should run. Over time, obviously, the Pimax software has developed over time. It's been around for over 2 years. This hardware, right? And obviously, they've updated it. It's at a time when I guess they've got things, bugs and other things sorted out. Since I have to say, it's generally been a seamless kind of setup and getting up and running. It was actually easy. It was easy, so I can't really complain about anything there. It just works like any other headset I would expect. Easy setup, get it up and running, get in the car and it's working, and seeing everything as it should, running smoothly, looks good. No complaints, nice field of view. It does everything I need it to do, and with that nice field of view, it is kind of a thing. It is quite spectacular. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to leave you there. Let's end it here, because otherwise I'm just going to be banging on about nonsense. Anyway, guys, hope you found it useful. Check out the review, link in the description when that's out. Drop questions below the video. If you have any questions, or if you have any kind of your own kind of opinions about this headset, leave them below the video, let other people see it. So far I'm kind of satisfied with what I got here, but I need to do some more testing, try a few more games, get a review out there, and take it apart a little bit more, and then we see how we get on. But yeah, so far I'm really happy with it. It's been fun, enjoying this, guys. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and until next time, happy simming, and bye bye.